Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you all can hear us here, and welcome to Your Breakfast with the Brand. We are here flanked by the phenomenal Travis Klein. Travis, how you feeling this morning, my brother?
Well, first off, Bobby, can you hear me? Am I coming through clear? I think we're having a little bit of audio
Yes,
issues. What about
yes,
now?
we will. I can hear you. I can hear you
Okay.
now. How
All
you
right.
doing?
Awesome. Happy New Year, by the way.
Yes. Happy New Year, every welcome. I see everybody in the building this morning. We got LaWanna Brad, welcome Jordan Knox, welcome Rhonda, welcome everybody that's here this morning. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Breakfast with the Brand. It sounds like got our audio fixed out, and we got a phenomenal show for you guys this morning. Sean Wright East will not be present with us. He's on a red flight, but he gives his love, he gives his concession and needs and trust guys with us this morning. So thank you, Travis, for being here with us, and we're going to dive into what your experience has been like with the brand, what you've been like going through the Branded Like a Leader program, you've scaled, how you've grown, because I went through that exact same program and I'm all in finance. So as we talk about that a little bit, what has your experience been like as you've gone through the process?
You said, what has my experience been like going through the process?
Yes, sir.
Well, it has been transformative, to say the least. So for myself, it has been a lot of growth. There has been a lot of discovery, and it's a lot more than what I originally thought I was getting myself into. So it was actually turned out to be a pleasant surprise.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We're going to dive into that when we come from the break. I'm going to make sure that all the audio is good on our end. But this again, ladies and gentlemen, is Your Breakfast with the Brand. We'll be right back from the break as we dive into what Branded Like a Leader has been, Travis Klein, and we talk about some of those benefits from branding and how it's so universal, because as anyone and everyone should get their business branded if they're serious about scaling their business and things to the next.
There's slow growth, and then there's scale. There's incremental growth, and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. I tell people all the time, I say coaching is a future-focused, goal and action-oriented process. Emphasis on action and emphasis on process. We're going to show you how to not just coach like a leader, but to create your organization with a coaching culture, and then create your community of high-level clients who need and respect your ability to coach them on a high level. So again, this is not consultation. Consultation is being the expert. You do not have to be the expert in a vertical to be a coach in that vertical. What you do have to do is ask open-ended questions. What you do have to do is have active listening. Listen, when you get done with this course, you're going to be a master coach, a master executive coach, You can use this in whatever vertical you want to. If you want to do life coaching, this will help you. If you want to coach clients, coach teachers, coach students, this will help you. If you want to be an evidence-based executive coach and only work with professionals, that's what this program is going to allow you to do. But it's also going to help you to add a 0 to the back of your number because you will know what you're doing. This is not hype. This is not motivation. This is evidence-based. This is factual-based, data-based, driven by science, and exalted by performance. From Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth to Rosa Parks, we have always been on a freedom run. Your LLC, your S Corp, C Corp, your business entity is what's going to give you the ability to go from your job, your industry wages, your 9 to 5, to the life of your dreams and the dream of your life. This is about you attaining all of the things that you could only possibly imagine and that our ancestors saw as not even being possible. Your freedom run, this is your freedom run. This is your moment. We're going to show you how to establish yourself as a business entity so you can go and come as you choose. There was a time when we needed permission slips to go from plantation to plantation. When you get a little bit older, you need permission slips to go from class to class. And when you get a little bit older, you get a vacation for 2 weeks, and then you have to come back after 2 weeks to your job, right? That's what they call it now, the 9 to 5, the gig. You might you work for 50 weeks and you get 2 off. The freedom run is when you establish your LLC and you're free for the rest of your life. I said Sean Rye East. I'm proud. I said Sean Rye East. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
Man, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we definitely need to give ourselves a round of applause. I'm talking about putting out fires, making things look as easy as they are, because when you have the team that you have built to do the extraordinary things in real time, everything looks easy. So phenomenal work behind the scenes. Thank you, Travis Klein, and everybody else that's with us. This is Brand Bounce Back. This is the brand bouncing back in real time. And what I wrote down as getting all of that stuff figured out was Destiny Erupted. And we're about to do some Destiny things this morning. So please let me know if the audio is good, ladies and gentlemen. Is the audio good? Is everything strong now? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, some flames, and everything is solid on you guys' end, so that we deliver you the cleanest and sleekest performance this morning. All right, so just give that a second. Put some flames in the chat if y'all are hearing me good. So Jordan is saying still an echo. So interesting. Let me try something else.
All right. So while we are working on that, what about now? Can we get any type of feedback on audio? Am I skipping as well? Is the audio fine?
All right, because we're going to figure this out for you guys. No worries at all. Okay, it's me. It's just me. So let's try this then. If Travis's audio is good, you could take us to one more break, Junior. I'll come and come back in. Travis seems to be 100% clear, and we will go ahead, get me back in and make sure that I come over as well. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. Keep you guys rolling and get things figured out.
Custom Model used to spit out numbers, and Mike Tyson would throw a combination and always knock out his enemy. When Mike Tyson lost Custom Model, he lost the title. Sean Rais is your Custom Model, your Tyson. What I'm gonna give you is a marketing system that's gonna knock your competition out. So the 501 marketing system is a combination: jab, 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 uppercut, hook. I'm gonna teach you how to give, surprise your ideal client, and then ask for the value that you're worth. And you're gonna get it every single time. I'm gonna teach you how to communicate in a crowded space, in your client's language that's gonna slice through the noise in the market and touch their inner souls and make them open their wallets. It is said that marketing is helping your ideal client open their wallet and take their money out. I'm gonna show you how to do this in 5 simple steps. When I think of brand you, I think of being your best self, your most authentic. The reason why we were able to crush business, absolutely dominate in business without having the marketing list, without having the email huge list, without having the Facebook ads and the advertising budget, without knowing the algorithm. The reason we were able to do this is because I branded myself. I told my authentic story and I was comfortable in my skin. Why? Because it was that time in the world where everything was shifting. It was 2020, March. So you remember what happened during that time. It was like the world was coming to an end. So you didn't have anything to hold back. So I chose to give everything that I had and be everything that I am. And because I was that, because I branded me, because I was authentic, everything shifted. And people wanted more. And they wanted to know more about me and how they could become more comfortable in their skin. Listen, guys, when you brand you and not what you do, you're gonna add a 0 to the world, but you'll also add a 0 to your revenue. Let's grow. So when you're young, mommy tells you to play nice. Play nice, Timmy. Let all of the other kids play too. But in business, it's not about playing nice. In business, it's about winning. It's about adding multiple zeros to your revenue. Now, of course, your staff wins. And when you win, other people win. However, when it comes to competition, you absolutely must dominate. You can't play for participation, and you can't play just to get along or just to get by, because business is serious. Business will help you to change the world, or the world will change you. Your people will either win or your people will lose based on your level of leadership, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice, and how much you know about dominating.
All right, we should be good now, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to me. Am I choppy? Can you hear me? So flex in the chat if we are locked in, cocked, no chops. Locked in, cocked, no chops. Goodness, you have got to be kidding me. So we're going to push through, and we're going to have Travis take the lead on this one. I'm going to have to go through the process if we can be heard clearly. And Travis, just walk us through your experience with the breakfast brand, but also with Branded Like a Leader, and how Branded Like a Leader prepared you for this age here.
Okay, awesome. Well, first off, I'd like to start by giving thanks on Thankful Thursdays just for having the opportunity to be a part of this community, to share a platform like this with yourself, Junior, Sean, and the marvelous members of this entire community. So I like to start off with that attitude of gratitude just to kind of set the tone to get us started. And what Breakfast with the Brand has been like for me has been completely transformative, because what I thought coming into this, I thought I was just getting a brand. However, as with anyone that's been in entrepreneurship, you'll come to find out that at the end of the day, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And one of my mentors along the way is famous for stating that when we're in this journey, a lot of times we want to know, we tell ourselves that we're going to get started when we know or when we have A, B, and C. However, a lot of times we don't really learn A, B, and C about whatever it is that we're looking to do until we actually put our feet in the water or actually just dive in. So that's what it's been like for myself, just to put it in a nutshell. And I mean, it's I love what Sean says about it's a future focused, goal and action oriented keyword process. So I'm definitely in the process, continuing in the process, and very excited about the process, to say the very least.
Absolutely. And the next question that I have for you, Travis, is as you've been building your brand and engaging with new customers, prospects, clients, has the brand done attraction? Who are you attracting now? What opportunities are you attracting as you've been developing your brand along the way?
Awesome. So what I'm realizing is I'm filtering out. And Sean told me this ahead of time about how in our messaging, we want to make sure that we're not only attracting, but also repelling. So what I've come to find here lately on my platform, which is predominantly LinkedIn, is I'm attracting not only professionals or business professionals, but I'm actually gaining a lot more international traction. So aside from being on my local news station here in Florida, I have also been invited to participate in some media opportunities over in the UK as well. And had it not been for, as Sean likes to say, having someone that can read the outside of the bottle, sort of say, had it not been for that, I would have been attempting to present myself in a marketplace inappropriately is the word, because I did not want to have the attire for my desire, sort of say. I wanted to just show up in a t-shirt. And had I done that, I don't think I would have been perceived in the way or had the opportunities that have been afforded to me thus far.
Wow. And you know what I love of this moment right now? In the military, we turn tragedy into opportunity. And right now, Travis is in a unique situation where he is being the unique brand in real time. So as he's coming through, no one thought that the comms are going to what they're doing right now. No one thought I'd have an echo. He must be saying 5 here, and then Travis was lifting weight. But you are the brand. And you do this properly, and you really do the work. This stuff happens all the time. and you can find yourself lifting on your own too, and actually discussing your experience. So I'm pretty much interview Travis because I cannot hear my audio right now. I'm hearing that it's still be. So we're gonna let Travis take us away as we go deeper into this when we come from the break. I think that's Junior telling us to keep going. With that being said, we're going to go a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to ask this next question. So the next question for you, Travis, is as you develop your brand and you lean more into your authentic self, what strengths are you find? What things are you find has allowed you to just overcome limiting beliefs, but it's all because of the brand. It's simply because you're leaning in to who you are, and it's making things so much easier for you. You're on mute.
There we go. Thank you for that save. What has helped me here lately, as far as developing the brand, is actually what Sean refers to as the origin brand story. So for myself, it wasn't until, I know Sean says that, here with the BWB or Breakfast with the Brand community, we give away more for free than he does for a fee. But for those that are on the outside, they really don't have the slightest clue as to how much more is poured into us on the back end. So, I'm hoping I have the permission to share some of this. However, it wasn't until getting inside or being immersed in the content, immersed in the information, the coaching, the community, having access to these things and going through, again, the process. It wasn't until I had gotten my feet wet that I was able to see that from me being my authentic self or coming on camera, just like I am now, it was the complete opposite of what I wanted to do. And what I didn't realize at the time that I realize now is what we have with a brand is more of a intimate relationship, intimate giving, sort of say, of ourselves or the value with our communities or the people that we're going to reach out to, because no different than I have my own sphere of influence, Bobby has his own sphere of influence, and you that are listening to this on the various platforms that you are, there are people that only you will be able to reach. So in the same way that we have our unique fingerprints, we also have our unique business fingerprints as well. So in that's where I've been able to get the most confidence in seeing that what I was attempting to do before, which was hide and not be, I guess, present, sort of say, as far as an online presence goes, I didn't have the budget to do that. And that's more of a big brand. You don't have the budget to do that. So if it wouldn't have been for Sean, I would have been trying to do something in ignorance. I would have been trying to follow behind those big brands, thinking that I could buy advertising dollars or things of that nature, when all I really had to do is show up, be myself, tell my story, and through that, I will, in a structured way, through the system, be able to not only attract, but also repel those unideal clients and customers.
Absolutely phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Breakfast with the Brand in real time, fully authentic, unscripted, and you'll know it, you see it, and when you hear it. Let's go to that mid-break.
Marketing like a leader. So marketing like a leader is teaching you the 5 P's of marketing: people, place. You got to know who you're selling to, and you got to know where you're selling to them. You got to know your product. If you don't understand your product, no one else will either. So you have to get clarity on that. Positioning. What is your positioning in the marketplace? What I like to say is that we help people go from the best kept secret to the only viable option. The only viable option. You need the number one positioning in your vertical. And then the fifth P is pricing. Oh, guys, what is your price? I always say to add a zero to your pricing. People come to me with $5,000 products. And I say, okay, that sounds good, but let's see if we can't add a zero to the back of it, make it $50,000, and then see what kind of value we need to put in there. So that's what we're going to teach you inside of Marketing Like a Leader, how to market yourself as a leader and take absolute ownership of the vertical. Click the link below and let's grow. I'll see you on the other side. Confidence is key. Most of the people I work with, they have the education, the experience, and the expertise. We call those the 3 E's. But they're looking for the 3 I's, the income, the impact, and the independence. And I always tell them that the bridge between the 3 E's and the 3 I's is marrying your confidence to your competence. Most of the people I work with, again, have all of the competence in the world. What I help them do is get the confidence. The difference between sales and closing, I get this all of the time, guys. Closing is elegant. Closing is luxurious. Closing is the most profitable. Sales, high pressure tactics. No one associates car sales, right? The sleazy sales tactics with closing, because closing is elegant. Closing is excellent. You have to be a professional in order to close deals. Listen, when you do this the right way, when you learn what we're going to teach you in here, your clients will be trying to close you. And they won't let you close them for low numbers. So you'll be able to heighten, increase your profitability, increase your visibility, increase your reach, and increase your impact in the marketplace. And be confident and comfortable charging higher prices than you ever thought possible to the right people who can actually pay for them and then say thank you for closing them. In brand clarity, exactly what you're going to get is what it sounds like. Clarity for your brand. What is your color? What is your logo? What is your unique value proposition? Who are you speaking to? Why? How should you speak to them? How should I position myself? That's what you're going to learn in brand clarity. You need other people to have the same clarity on your brand that you do. But this is the gap. If you don't have clarity on your brand, then no one else is going to have clarity on your brand either. It's like messaging. Your message sounds clear to you, but is your end user receiving the value that you're trying to provide? I guarantee you that after you go through brand clarity, they will, and so will you. And that's how you'll scale your brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are and we're ready to dive back into this. And as we go through this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about your brand. Think about the time that you found yourself in interesting positions. A time where you're like, man, I cannot believe this happened live. And how did you handle it? How did you overcome it? What was said about your brand in the moment? Because they say that adversity introduces a man or woman to themselves. So as we're going through this and as we're asked questions on the fly, I want you about you. I want you about your business and what 23 like and what 2024 holds as you dive deeper and deeper to executing flawlessly. And that's going to lead to the next question that I have for Travis. So Travis, because you weren't expecting this particular approach, because this is unscripted and you're live, what's going through your head right now as your branding is pretty much live? It's like, whoa, this is me. And as you back and you watch this, you're going to say, I didn't write that down. That was in me the whole time. What's going through your mind right now?
If I haven't learned anything else, especially from today, is you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I mean, as we see here today, things happen. It might be outside of our control, or as Lawana so expertly said in the comments, in our sphere of influence, or within our control. The things that are within our control, things that are outside of our control. I'm sure that we can get it reined in, but within the time frame, the show must go on. So what has gone on within myself, and what the audience may come to find out that is within them as well, is that it's just like you said, it's always been there. That value, that gumption, that energy. Like I always considered myself to be an introvert. I can speak when spoken to, being from the South. You may have been able to hear it in my accent. However, being from the South, it was, speak when spoken to, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and, things of that nature. However, when you really find what it is that you're passionate about, and this does take some time, or at least for myself, it did take some time. I did not get it right on the first attempt. Going through several network marketing, companies in my younger years, all of those experiences are not to be taken lightly, because all of them were like a culmination or an accumulation of what led up to where I am here today. So I take all of those experiences with great gratitude, to say that when you're ready, you're ready. And when you're in a phenomenal community of people that share the same dreams and the same ambitions and the same goals, it's just that like-mindedness, that alignment, when it's there. I mean, let's just call it what it is. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, it can be a bit lonely out here, especially if you don't come from a family that understands what it takes. And sometimes it can be our surroundings. It might not necessarily be immediate family, or it may be your spouse. I mean, sometimes these things can be really tough, and they can lead to fissures or breaks in the relationship. And here lately, what's been revealed unto myself is that as a leader, I'm looking to take it upon myself, or within that sphere of influence, to make sure I rein things in, to make sure that I keep that foundation solid, so that as I continue to scale and as I continue to grow, I do what I've been taught by Sean, which is essentially to design my lifestyle rather than let life design it for me.
Powerful. The word, leadership. So you all know that branding and leadership is the intersection that Sean has been dominating for as long as I've known him, and for as long as any of you have probably known him well. And something interesting about branding and leadership is that they really are one and the same if you can leverage them properly. Sean calls it personal brand leadership. They're so interconnected that I teach it, that if you do it, you almost do both of them simultaneously. If you do the way that he teaches it. So what I would like to do, continue to think, as you think about your brand, you marinate on. Sean has talked about, as a leader, how are you showing up? How are you showing up for your brand as a leader? How is your brand enabling other people to elevate brand? Because briefly, I hope it wasn't too bad, but I want to share this piece. The Breakfast with the Brand has been a platform for me to elevate my brand in the sense that's made me a stronger speaker. It's made me a stronger presenter. It's given me a platform to strengthen myself as I go up there and scale my business. And today, I believe Tress would say it's doing the same thing. It's giving him an opportunity to stand out his brand and to build his brand in some phenomenal ways. So with that being said, what I would say, Travis, is as you are scaling your brand and you're leaning to leadership, how has your leadership developed as your brand is developing?
Well, like you said, they happen simultaneously. I love that analogy of not being able to pour from an empty cup. So, and I actually, some of the health components I've actually picked up from yourself. So thank you for that inspiration, not only from you, but from Junior as well, as far as not getting caught up in the minutia of the business itself and actually doing the things, not just doing, but being who it requires to take on that role. I was completely oblivious to this when I first began. I'd been caught up in all of the doing. And sometimes that is something that, you know, we can get lost in. So with being a leader, there are things that are required beyond just the mundane task of whatever brand we're in. So it may take the shape of, you know, health, takes the shape of family and relationships and systems, and that list just, and spirituality, that list just goes on and on. So it's, for myself, has been like I say, a phenomenal transformation, because as I stated in the beginning, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. So having that backing to be myself and to put it or package that into a brand, it has made it really easy, because like I said, had this not been revealed to me before, had Sean not taken me under his wing, so to say, I wouldn't have known my own power, sort of said. I would have still been trying to hide or put my light under the bushel, sort of say, instead of holding it out for the world to see. Because this is what it is. The brand helps, it builds you simultaneously while allowing you to help others with your 3 E's, your education, your experience, and your expertise.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Travis, for that. We're about to go to one more break, maybe 2 more breaks before we end the Breakfast with the Brand this morning. But this has been an extraordinary call. So, and I hope that everybody is benefiting from this. As you go through it, can let us know what's going on in the comment section. We'll be right back.
Custom Model used to spit out numbers, and Mike Tyson would throw a combination and always knock out his enemy. When Mike Tyson lost Custom Model, he lost the title. Sean Rais is your Custom Model, your Tyson. What I'm going to give you is a marketing system that's going to knock your competition out. So the 501 marketing system is a combination: jab, 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 uppercut, hook. I'm going to teach you how to give, surprise your ideal client, and then ask for the value that you're worth, and you're going to get it every single time. I'm going to teach you how to communicate in a crowded space in your client's language that's going to slice through the noise in the market and touch their inner souls and make them open their wallets. It is said that marketing is helping your ideal client open their wallet and take their money out. I'm going to show you how to do this in 5 simple steps. When I think of brand you, I think of being your best self, your most authentic. The reason why we were able to crush business, absolutely dominate in business without having the marketing list, without having the email huge list, without having the Facebook ads and the advertising budget, without knowing the algorithm. The reason we were able to do this is because I branded myself. I told my authentic story and I was comfortable in my skin. Why? Because it was that time in the world where everything was shifting. It was 2020, March. So you remember what happened during that time. It was like the world was coming to an end. So you didn't have anything to hold back. So I chose to give everything that I had and be everything that I am. And because I was that, because I branded me, because I was authentic, everything shifted. and people wanted more. And they wanted to know more about me and how they could become more comfortable in their skin. Listen, guys, when you brand you and not what you do, you're gonna add a zero to the world, but you'll also add a zero to your revenue. Let's grow. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and I've got some more questions for Travis Klein, the premier trading coach. Now, you went through the website building process. Could you talk about the CSA that brought the clarity, simplicity, and the application that you experienced? You went through the web building process.
Absolutely. So going through that process for myself, it was, as it stated, clarify, simplify, amplify. With that, we had to cut away because I had a lot of experience also, even though I've been in the markets for quite some time, double-digit years. I also have been in logistics for double-digit years. So for myself, at that time when we went through the process, everything was literally happening fast. I guess I felt like Sonic the Hedgehog a bit, because when I got into this, I guess I was expecting a bit of a slower pace, and it just kind of just hit me, where before I knew it, I think like maybe 3 months in, maybe I already had like my social media platforms developed, already had the websites developed. And if anything, I think for anyone beginning something new, it can be a little uncomfortable. So with that, having Junior helping on the back end, being in constant communication with him, he was really able to help me get down to the nitty gritty, like you say, the clarifying, which is more so getting rid of or cutting away at a lot of different things so that we can like really focus on that one thing. And then the S for the simplifying or the simplification, when we got into it, is taking these large ideas where we start, like for myself, and I'm still learning this process. So I'm not as polished. I don't have the stories like that, but I'm coming. So I have the tendency, I love to teach. I love to do it so much that's what keeps me going. So I have the tendency to get into the overboughts and the oversolds and the relative strength indicators and the MACD and all these other facets of trading. However, it goes way over the client's head. So for me, that biggest challenge was, how do you take those complex ideas? And even though I can do it and can show it to someone in a chart in my sleep, like the back of my hand, when it comes to painting the picture, man, like Junior, the whole team, Sean, that was phenomenal, because I don't even know how I would have gotten it if it wasn't for the team to help break those ideas down. So that in and of itself was phenomenal. And then the web page itself was the amplification. It took those first 2 steps, and by cutting away and simplifying, it just poured kerosene on the fire. So that's what helped, like the hot air balloon, you know, everything, it was just taking off. So I'm seeing things from a different perspective, things that I wouldn't have seen before. And like I said, this whole journey has just been very eye-opening. It's been very revealing. And I had no clue that I was a leader. So that in and of itself was very refreshing. So now that I'm getting to the point to where I'm actually owning it, that would be where I would say that I am now in that transition process of actually owning this leadership title. And now that it's becoming a bit more of who I am instead of just a trading coach, I find myself in other areas of life leading where I might have expected someone else to take the lead or take the reins or introduce themselves. I find myself being that person coming into the room. Hey, my name's Travis, trading coach over at the Profit Trading Academy. How are you doing today? Whereas before I would have sat, you know, I might not have sat in the back, but I definitely wouldn't have been the first one to introduce myself.
Wow, that's incredible. And as I heard you break that down, the next thing that came to me, something that I learned in Branded like a leader: morals, values, and principles. What more values and principles do govern you and your execution?
Well, as far as the MVPs for short go, for me, everything just came down to my own set of 3 things, which was simplicity, efficiency, and transparency. So in that system, all of those things were sort of like subcategories of ethics. So at the top, we had our ethics in doing what it is that we say we're going to do at a high level. And then the simplicity part of it, just from my own experience of being in various communities, being able to take some of those, the same way we did with the website, to eventually just take away a lot of unnecessary things. So a lot of those like technical things that I mentioned before, be able to water those things down or cut those things out completely and be able to just get down to 1 or 2 things that are really necessary for someone to be profitable. Being able to not only do that, but be able to put people over the profits, and just go back to the principles. Like for myself, it's the spiritual side of things. I wanted to connect more on that level, or spend more time in that category. So definitely this, like I said, this whole process just caused me to go back and reevaluate things so that I wasn't getting so caught up in the day-to-day activities of content creation and video editing and, you know, all the things that an entrepreneur can go through, especially when they're entering a new arena. And that's going to be with anything, whether it's automation or whether it's scaling. All of those things are going to have a bit of a learning curve to them. And just as you and Sean so eloquently said yesterday, that when it comes to these things, being a leader, it's not our job to come in and just sort of pass that job off to someone else. It's actually our position or duty as a leader to lead by example and elevate the team to the level that we see as a culture where we want to be, and just continue to push forward in that direction, as opposed to just essentially trying to outsource it or pass the buck on to someone else.
Man, that's incredible, Travis. heard a little bit of everything there, from the 501 framework to the TD framework. You've probably been brainstorming of all the different things put in there to the world on notice. As we cut from the final break this morning, I'm going to talk to Travis about of his biggest discoveries from those various sections. But I'm going to craft that question to the best of my to make sure he gives you all a full answer when we get back.
So when you're young, mommy tells you to play nice. Play nice, Timmy. Let all of the other kids play too. But in business, it's not about playing nice. In business, it's about winning. It's about adding multiple zeros to your revenue. Now, of course, your staff wins. And when you win, other people win. However, when it comes to competition, you absolutely must dominate. You can't play for participation, and you can't play just to get along or just to get by, because business is serious. Business will help you to change the world, or the world will change you. Your people will either win or your people will lose based on your level of leadership, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice, and how much you know about dominating. Confidence is key. Most of the people I work with, they have the education, the experience, and the expertise. We call those the 3 E's. But they're looking for the 3 I's: the income, the impact, and the independence. And I always tell them that the bridge between the 3 E's and the 3 I's is marrying your confidence to your competence. Most of the people I work with, again, have all of the competence in the world. What I help them do is get the confidence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the question I have for Travis is a confidence. So as you went through branded leader, the 501 framework, the origin brand story, putting the world on notice, I think you guys, I was going to craft a question for him to give you everything. What areas gave you the most confidence after completing them?
Okay, so what areas of all those various facets that make this organism, that's really what it is, that make this organism up, which one helped me build my confidence? I can't say that there's any one in particular, because it's almost like I'd be robbing from one to give the glory to the other. So just, oh man, it has to be for me the community itself. Like, don't get me wrong, you have to stay involved in the content, you have to stay a part of the curriculum, you have to have that discipline to stick with it. But for myself, being a part of a high level evidence-based coaching system is what has allowed me to progress and continue to progress through the levels in which I'm seeing in my own business. And I know that I would not be here without the community here presented, not only with Breakfast with the Brand, but going through Branded Like a Leader and some of the other courses that I am also enrolled in within this community.
Absolutely phenomenal, Travis. Thank you for being with us this morning. LaWanna, thank you. We got Dr. Michelle in the building. We've got various Facebook users. Let us know who you are if you're just on there and it says Facebook user. Let StreamYard know who you are. But it was absolutely phenomenal call. And we're getting ready to hit out this morning. This was your Breakfast with the Brand. We'll see you all tomorrow, 7 a.m. Have a phenomenal Thursday.